he abandoned us when we were still young.
Yeah.
So like he has never even tried looking for traumatizing background.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was growing up,
Okay.
it was really traumatized.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Rachel Mwanthi, and so today guys, kama kawaida, I've brought you this amazing guest. Hako hapa na mimi tunaenda kupiga story na yeye. So kindly when you here, please consider subscribing, comment, like and share this video. So today I've brought you this young guest with me here. Is one of the young people mwenye anafanya foundations za kuhelp the needy. So acha tusikie story yake. Karibu.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, ukoaje?
Niko poa sana.
Yeah, how's been your day?
It has been nice.
Yeah.
I really thank God.
Wow.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
your new year unajajaje 2023 so far ikoaje?
I think unakuwa tu hopeful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that all will be well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us your names.
My name is John Marambu.
Okay.
I'm a student at Masinde Muliro University.
Wow, you are a student. John, uko which year?
I'm a third year student. Yes.
That year student mwenye ako na kiliwaida. Nasoma peke yake.
We thank God.
Yeah.
Tunashukuru Mungu.
Wow.
Apart from that,
Yeah.
I'll say I'm a philanthropist.
Uh-huh.
I'm also a mental health advocate.
Okay.
And apart from that, by God's grace, I serve as the cluster youth leader in our church.
Wow.
Yes.
So like being a philanthropist na pia una deal na mambo na mental, is it because you're doing a course related to that ama unafanya course gani?
Yes, actually I'm a medical student.
Wow.
Pursuing a bachelor's degree in global health and travel medicine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it deals na hiyo kuinteract na watu.
Yeah, sure.
Health.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So far how is studies kwa comrade Masinde Muliro? How can you describe it ikoaje?
I can describe it as a nice experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a good experience actually. Yeah.
Does it have some challenges? Uko shule kuna zile challenges ma comrade mna face?
Yeah, there are so many challenges.
Yeah.
Because some of us actually are coming from humble backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like in backgrounds whereby none of our parents ever went to the university.
Yeah.
So sometimes actually you find that you need to pay school fees, you need to register units so as to do your exams.
Yeah.
So you find you try to explain back at home to your parents that they need to pay school fees in advance in prior so as to register units. Some of them they don't understand. They will tell you go and talk to the finance office like the way you used to do in high school.
Wanadhani ni ofisi unaenda kujiongelelea.
So it is a challenge actually. But all in all we really thank God for everything.
Wow.
Yes.
Kai tumeenda mbali but hatujajua besides you being a student in Masinde Muliro doing the course you said, we'll like to know umegrow wapi, ulizaliwa wapi, so far maisha ilikuwaje kutoka hapo chini up to the time umekuwa sahi?
I was born in Uasin Gishu County in Eldoret. Nilisomea hapo primary, secondary. Pia church nimekuwa nikienda Church of Christ that is in Eldoret up to when I did my KCSE and I was called to Masinde Muliro University.
Wow, so you did like high school uliperform poa ukenda?
Yeah, actually in primary school I didn't perform that well. I got 276 marks. Then
you see well.
Then in high school I did my best. I got a B+. Then I joined Masinde Muliro University.
Wow, that's interesting. Was the course that you were called kwenda kufanya Masinde Muliro, was it your dream course ama ulikuwa na course nyingine yenye ulikuwa unataka ukaitiwa hiyo?
I had another course. I wanted to become actually a journalist. Because like I wanted to perfect on my self-esteem. I really had low self-esteem. So
mbona ilikuwa low?
I think I had a traumatizing background. When I was growing up. It was really traumatizing. So like I really wanted to become a journalist so as to perfect on my self-esteem. Yes.
Wow. Then I think to my own thinking, like ukisikia mtoto wako traumatized maybe mentally, kuna zile happenings zilikuwa zina happen maybe home kwa background, nini ilikuwa ina happen on your side that made you be traumatized and need to be a journalist?
I think I'll say growing up in a humble background, being brought up by a single mom.
You've been brought up by single mom.
Whereby like she really had to struggle financially.
Yeah.
Then being a firstborn,
Yeah.
I had a lot of distress because you'll overthink, a lot of stress.
Yeah.
So it was really traumatizing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you are a firstborn
Yeah.
in a family of how many kids?
In a family of 5.
Ah.
Yes.
The rest are still schooling.
Yeah, the rest are still schooling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you faced being brought up by a single mom and naweza taka kujua bado who is dad? They parted ama is not
I
there?
think he abandoned us when we were still young.
Yeah.
So like he has never even tried looking for us. And then I will say my mom, she didn't have that stable job.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of like, I don't know how to put it.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of challenges growing up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like zilikuwa mobo.
Yeah,
Hizo challenges ndio nilikuwa nataka kujua ni kama gani mlikuwa mna face being raised by that single mom.
I will say I think the way the community also takes a person who is being brought up by a single parent.
Yeah.
And also I will say my mom didn't have a stable job.
Yeah.
Actually she was selling alcohol. Yeah, they commonly known as changa.
Yeah, I get.
So you'll find sometimes the police, they will come and arrest her in front of people.
Yeah.
So and then you are there as a firstborn. You'll overthink what if my mom goes there and she does not come back. And that time you are a child.
Yeah.
So you'll have a lot of, like, you'll overthink. And then having a space whereby there's no dad.
Yeah.
Like it was really a lot.
Hakuna mtu wa kutetea.
Yeah, sure.
How's the feeling seeing mom pass through those problems na hana venye anaweza fanya?
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. I don't know how to put it, but it was hard. But all in all, I really thank God, because I always believe that God can make a journey of a humble beginning becomes a mission of possibilities.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. From the way you talking, mtu ako pale nje anaweza huyu ni kani pastor anatoa maneno. Hebu tuambie about your religion, like your stand venye iko.
I will say I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
You know, like I was brought up in a family whereby no one used to know God.
Yeah.
So we used to, when we were young,
Yeah.
we used to go from one church to another. You know, kukuwa na masherehe, you'll move from one church to another one. Like, so I didn't have a stable church.
Yeah.
So when I think I met my Sunday school teacher. She used to come to our home and encourage us to go to church. So at that time I didn't have that strong faith. So but slowly by slowly, like akazidi tu kutukaza. From that time is when like nilianza kuenda church. And nikaenda Sunday school vizuri. Akatufunza vizuri. After she went, I became a Sunday school teacher. So I had to teach Sunday school kids. And then apart from that, I was appointed as the youth chair. Yeah.
Wow. So like umesimama, wanasema nimesimama kwa Yesu.
Yeah. Sure.
Wow, that's indeed great. So back to the project that you usually do, naweza taka utupe recap kiasi of what you do besides being a student.
Okay. Like when I went to Masinde Muliro University, I noticed some pupils going to school barefooted. So I didn't know that at this era we'll still have pupils going to school barefooted. So I was really touched. And at that time is when I was being appointed to be the youth leader in our church. And I was in the book of there's a book whereby in the book of Joel it says that afterwards God will pour out his spirit and youths will see visions and old men will have dreams. So I really prayed for God to give me a vision, and he gave me a vision of starting an initiative. It is called Umoja ni Nguvu. So like courtesy of that initiative, we always donate shoes to people going to school barefooted. It entails a lot. Yeah, so like we always visit rehabilitation centers for those kids who are abled differently. Also feed street families. So like when you feed street families, we create awareness on the effects of drugs, because we have noticed most of the street families they use drugs. So we create awareness, then we try to bring them to church. Then when we bring them to church, in our church we have a school, so we try to rehabilitate them. Yeah. So
like it's a project that you don't do it alone, you have partners, you do it together.
Yeah, like I will say it is like I'm the vision bearer. So like I always say that there's a quote which always say that if you want to go far, you walk with people, but if you want to go faster you walk alone. So I wanted to go far, so that's why I incorporated people along. Yes.
How so far do you see it working with people compared to when you could be doing it alone?
I will say working it with people is very, I'll say it is easy and it is simple, because you learn something from someone else. Like when I'm alone, I can do things on my own, like on my own on my own ideas. But when you have people, you incorporate, you bring up new ideas, then you talk, then you come up with a final decision. So it is so easy to work with people. Yes.
Did your background, the way you've like venye ilikuwa hapo nyuma, maybe ili contribute to you starting the project, ama it didn't at all?
I think it did. 100% it did. Because you see some of us give not because we have much, but because we really know or we really understand how hard it feels to have nothing at all. So that it really contributed a lot.
Like you have the experience, you know how it feels, now you have that heart ya kusaidia.
Sure. Yes.
Then you also said seen peoples, I guess ni wa primary mostly.
Ni wa primary mostly.
Walking barefooted. Was it the only one, including your background? Was there any other reason that led you as John Wamwe, let me go to do this?
Okay, I'll say before that there was a man who used to come to a church and he used to preach. He used to have a children's home. So that man, he used to tell us like we should be visiting his children's home more oftenly. So I think from that time is when I started having that vision. Yes.
Wow. So the Umoja ni Nguvu Foundation that you are doing, have you set a specific place ama position that maybe unasaidia watoto from there, ama just go find them where they are and help them from there?
I'll say that now it is not, I don't have a specific place, because I live in Eldoret, then I'm a student in Kakamega, sometimes I'm in Nairobi. So being a student, I don't have that specific location. Then being like I don't have that money to open up an office. Yes.
I thought like unasaidia watoto wenye wako hiyo background ya Eldoret, so you doing it like in different places?
In different places. Okay. But mostly in Eldoret. I always feed the street families, because Mother Teresa said if you want to love the world, go back home, go back to your family. So I always feed those street families. We have grown up with them. So I feed those street families. Then in our church, being the youth leader, I encourage them to come to church. Then being in our church, you have a school. It is so easy to retrieve them from the street to the church and take them to the school.
The school ni free or they pay a little?
I'll say it depends, because our pastor, he's called Pastor Protas. Being a church school, it is being sponsored by missionaries, I would say. So like when I bring those kids, actually they don't pay.
So like they do it for free?
They do it for free.
So kufanya hizi vitu, when you doing it on your own, when you do it with other people, where do you get the resources to help these kids? Unahitaji do mosofia ku travel kama unaenda different places, hizo viatu, whatever foods, where do you get the resources?
I will say when God gives you a vision, he will definitely gives you a provision. And God cannot give you something that can kill you. When God gives you something, he knows you can handle it. He knows that you can do it perfectly. So I'll say the little I've been using is from my savings, and the little I use and the little I get from help. And then I have a very supportive mother. She supports fully what I do.
Wow.
Yes.
So your parents, your mom ana support kabisa?
Ana support fully, 100%. Yes.
On that, mentioning that peer help ni ina act kama source of what you usually do. I don't know if you've come across this issue ya help ni kama itatolewa. What's your view about that to students na comrades?
I would really like to urge our president not to scrap or disband help loan, because it really helps a lot. Because some of us, we are coming from backgrounds whereby maybe some of us are orphans. So you are in the university, when you are 18 years and above, it's so difficult to solicit for funds. No one will have emphasis on you. So like you use that money and you work, so as to pay your school fees. It really helps a lot. It really helps a lot of comrades. And also some of us, as I stated earlier, we come from backgrounds whereby none of our parents or none of our families have ever gone to the university. So you find that sometimes you need to pay fees in advance so as to register units. When you try to tell your parents back at home, they don't understand. So it really helps a lot of comrades. And then I wanted to say that like help really helps a lot. So like when our president wants to disband it, it's like punishing students for being intelligent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then to you bado ita cut short your source yenye unatumia kwa.
Very true. And then it is not free money. We will definitely repay it back. Yeah.
So being a student pia unafanya hizi stories zingine za project, una travel. How do you get to balance the two?
I'll say like when God gives you a vision, He'll definitely gives you a provision. Like God cannot give you something that will kill you. He'll definitely provide, and where you are going wrong, He will correct it. So like God cannot give you this. Like it is never. Remember when God was calling Jeremiah, Jeremiah had a lot of complaints. God, I'm so young, I don't know how to speak. But God told him like, if like I had already appointed you while you are still in your mother's womb. So like when God gives you something, He'll not let it kill you. When God gives you a vision, He'll definitely gives you a provision.
So you get to balance the two. Seti masomo imeenda chini, the other one iko sawa.
Sure. The same way when you are in primary school, when you sometimes unajipata uko drama and still you are in class. Yeah. So like we used to balance it. Yes.
How is the feeling now that you doing it good? Unaona in a prosperous list, you making kids smile that are outside there when you wanna life power.
I think I'll say it is something like maybe a dream being fulfilled, like a vision coming being fulfilled. Yes. So like it feels nice. And then most of us who have come from humble backgrounds, we always have that desire to give back to the community. Like when you meet such people who have been brought up by in a humble backgrounds, they always say that when I grow up, I want to build a children's home. I want to help the needy. So it is always in them. So like I will say, it is something like a dream being fulfilled. Yes.
Then kuna zile perceptions za watu now to this thing that you are doing of helping the needy. There are some how different people perceive it. Wengine wana perceive it positively, wengine wana judge. Have you so far received any negative perceptions from people?
Yes, actually you'll have a lot of those things. But if you concentrate on people, they will kill it. Remember, God sees your motive, but people sees your actions. People, they'll judge your actions, but God knows your motive. Like I remember when I was feeding the street families, mostly I like inviting the media so as to like solicit for further support from our leaders, our donors. You see, someone else will see it in a way that you are showing off. So but definitely the Bible says human beings, they always see your vision, your actions, but God sees your motives. God knows why you are doing it, and after it, how you are going to like benefit from it. So like there's a lot of issues. Even if, like I will say, no one is perfect. Even Jesus himself, Jesus was so perfect, but still human beings, they did find a fault again to him. So how about me, a normal human being?
Experience more.
Sure. Yes.
Then to the positive comments, wengine wamesemaje kuhusu what you are doing that imekupea ile motive, like let me continue doing this because even people see it as a good act to do?
Yes, I'll say most of my friends, I will say most of my friends are my supporters. And most of my supporters turned to be my friends, because like you see, if someone is like, some people, they look for you, they will want to support your initiative, so that gives you the strength to keep going.
Like inakupa ile morale, let me keep doing it.
Let me keep doing it. And apart from that, I know most, let me say, young people, they always have that dream of giving back to the society. So like it is something like, if I'm doing it, it is possible. You can also do it. Yes.
Wow, that's really interesting. What are some of your visions that you think you desire to be maybe in 5 years time soonest? Unataka kujiona wapi based on your education na pia based on your project that you are doing?
I'll say maybe basing on my projects, on 5 years to come, maybe I really want like it to get sponsors or donors. Getting it, like when you have donors or sponsors, it is so much easy to run the initiative. And maybe my future goals are like building children's home, a school and a church. Yes.
So far, have you had any donors, sponsors wenye wanakusaidia to do the project?
So now currently I will say the only donors I have are my friends. And my supporters, because they really support. You know, I always, like I said, I always believe that God can make a journey of a humble beginning becomes a mission of possibilities. So like if you get someone who contributes 100 bob, another one 100 bob, like kuna ile yanasemanga like sijui a step a journey of 1,000 miles
starts with a single step.
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting. What do you have for those friends, those people outside there who support what you do?
I really like to tell them like God our bless kabisa. God our bless kabisa. God bless you abundantly, and never stop being a good person. Or like usai feel like mtu asikwambia ati asikumake you feel inferior. Continue being a good person, continuing being you, and God will bless you for that. Yes. So
to the Umoja Initiative foundation that you are doing, what are some of the changes ama progresses zenye uneza pinpoint ukiangalia from the time you started, from where you are, what are some of the progresses that you can say it's this?
I joined most in 2020, and now we are in 2023. I can say I started in the initiative when I joined the most. So like from that
first year.
Wow. So like from that point, I can say so far we have managed to donate shoes to around 100 pupils in 2 different schools, in Maraba Primary and in Mungulu Primary. And apart from that, I can say we have able to feed street families. We have managed to visit a rehabilitation center. It is called Jawabu Rehabilitation Center. It is a center for those kids who are able differently.
The shoes, nizi tafi school shoes,
the school going shoes. And then apart from that, if you have shoes that you are not using, you can donate, so that wakienda na hizo viatu shule, they have some wenye wanaweza tumia nyumbani. Yes.
Mentioning the project, ni gani yenye ushaifanya ukona actually this I did my best, like I just loved how it happened?
I think all, because I did, you know, in the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 23, it says that whatever you do, do it heartily, because you're doing it for God and not for human beings. So whatever I do it heartily because I'm doing it for God. So I'll say all my initiatives, all my projects,
you see them good.
Yes.
Wow, I love what you are doing. All the best in what you are doing, Pia. All the best in your studies, when you unasoma, in your projects. May all prosper.
Amen. Thank you so much.
So what do you have for someone mwenye anaweza taka kukusaidia, at least to what you are doing, anaweza kupataje?
I'm very active in all social media platforms. On Facebook, John Marambu; on Instagram, Marambu John; Twitter, Marambu John; TikTok, John Marambu; YouTube, John Marambu. And apart from that, we have an upcoming initiative on mental health. We'll be creating a mental health awareness. Yes.
When?
It will be on 28th in Muliro Gardens. Like I saw the need to create it because most of nowadays mental health is one of the most neglected and stigmatized aspect of health. Maybe you are suffering from depression, you have gone to the hospital, you need to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist, then they ask you, unataka kuona ule daktari wa wenda wazimu. So if you receive such from a healthcare worker, demoralize also, like, to seek further help. So we are creating the awareness actually mostly to the healthcare workers to use like good language. Like it's cool, like someone asked, most of the healthcare workers were they supposed to work in a hospital or in a military? Because of the language they are using. So
unajibiwa mpaka una give up.
Sure. And then ukijibu hivyo mtu, he'll end up committing suicide, of which is not right. Yes.
Wow, that's really interesting. Aki, all the best to what you are doing. So guys, mmesikia John Marambu. Reach him if you think you can help in either way. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching this video. Let's meet again in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.